This is the Master of the Mic 2020 Quarantine Edition, and it is going down.
Check it out.
The artists, you know, they some of them already have the equipment that they could use and were familiar with it. Some of them had to, you know, buy some equipment. You know, it was definitely a learning experience for some of them. You know, just to have them take responsibility for their own sound. I think a lot of them weren't prepared for that. The ones who moved forward were the ones who practiced, who actually, you know, took the time to make sure that they knew what they were doing.
Quarantine edition means you gotta kind of set up your own audio, video, you know what I'm saying, like programming to where everybody on the receiving end can can comprehend it. They can hear the beat, the voice, you know what I'm saying. So from a technical aspect, I learned a lot, man.
It's definitely different trying to make all this stuff work yourself versus just showing up with a flash drive and like, hey, play this when it's my turn.
I've always produced and recorded myself, so it helps. In the earlier rounds, it was kind of easy. Like, you watch 3 or 4 people in a row, can't even figure out the technology. So you're like, those earlier rounds, you're like, you know you're making it.
Check it. So what's next? I'm gonna spit some bars for y'all. Check. Yeah. Alright. Check me out. Yo, I'm not an alcoholic. I just like to drink. I'm waking up the lukewarm water out the sink. It's just the way I is. It's in my DNA. I'm doing work to get my chips up. Frito-Lay. No delay on what I'm doing. Strict agenda. Think if it's shit less, if it's hip-hop, she's into. Cause shorty give me access to enter. Been typing up the address and enter. Google Map, take me to the fat ass dispenser. Then instantly we smash it. Punch not a minute, man, but 10-minute maximum. I'm playing. I stroke about as long as Titanic. I smoke till I'm too paranoid and I panic. Might vanish. Disappear into the sunset. Sipping beer for 6 hours, still I ain't drunk yet. Live a life in dangerful container of some fuck yes. I keep a busy schedule. I'm always on some what's next. So what's next? Yeah. So what's next? Check. So what's next? Yeah.
During the quarantine edition, I think it really like kind of made people step outside the box of being able to, you know, be diverse. You can perform on a stage, but then you can also entertain people in a setting like that. You know, it brought fans online to support, and I just think that that's kind of where we are at right now. I had 3 judges that were in. One was in Atlanta, 2 were in LA. You know, so just to be able to bring them into like a forum where, you know, we're all like across the United States, you know, for one goal, and you know, there was something definitely beautiful about that. It definitely was intense as far as, you know, making sure it was all running smoothly, but I think it went down fairly good for, you know, for somebody that had no idea what any of this stuff was, you know, back in March, to, you know, being able to tell somebody how to hook up their equipment, you know, or troubleshooting the equipment myself. Yeah, there was a part of, I guess it was like right out the gate, where Rascas's phone died. And so he dropped off the call. I had to hop in real quick and you know, and just improvise, you know. So I told the story about the room that we were in, which I think is a really awesome story anyway.
Ike and Tina Turner were staying in the Statler in downtown Dallas, and Ike beat her up pretty good. So she ran from the Statler to, I'm not sure what the hotel was called, but Lorenzo back then. And the owner of the Lorenzo Hotel actually put her in this room with 2 guys standing outside the door to make sure that she didn't have any problems. And then they gave her like $10 a day for food, which back then, was enough. So we were actually in the very hotel where Tina Turner was able to get away from Ike and become the solo artist that she is today.
Everybody in the room, make some noise for the ladies, man.
Hey! So, it's one of those things, like I said earlier, you have to have a contingency plan. You have to have a backup plan. You have to have a backup plan to your backup plan.
Check it out. Funky dope, rope. Check it out. Funky dope, rope. Check it out. Funky dope, rope. Check it out.
The judges have ranged from anybody from fellow promoters to people in the media. I always try to get the media involved. That way, even if you don't win, like maybe you can get a write-up. And then usually for the finale, I try to, bring people with a little bit more star quality. So DOC's been a judge several years in a row. The first year I had Erykah Badu, DOC, and Duro. But then you have people like, Rascas, who I think is, severely underrated by the general public. I think people who know hip hop know him and know what he's about. Then we have Abstract Rude, who has been an independent artist for 25 plus years. Head Crack was involved this last year.
The results didn't go the way I wanted it, but I lost to Maintained, and I knew he was going to be one of the 2 people I was going to have to compete with throughout the entire competition anyway. So, it is what it is. You had 3 strong competitors, you had 3 great judges. It wasn't an easy situation for them to pick on, and he came out victorious. So
constructive criticism, as an artist, sometimes we wear our heart on our sleeve. So it's kind of hard taking that constructive criticism, even if it is from a place of love, you know what I'm saying? Because again, they are MCs themselves. They've already, been through the wire, so to speak, and have made it out on the other end, So they basically just giving us, basically, I guess like almost like a guide or tutorial,
Last experience was maybe not do full songs, so that because a lot of the sets are a little shorter than what I'm used to. So instead of doing 2 or 3 really solid songs, I try to break it up into 5, and I thought that was going to help me this year. But actually, one of the critiques was that once they were like starting to rock with the song, it would switch.
You had me at a low. I'm like, keep going. But then, you went to the 3rd one. Once again, you had me at a low, and then you sat down.
It was like a strategy I thought was going to work in my favor.
Okay, well, what are we judging on now? Well, it's still kind of the same, originality, and maybe instead of fan interaction, it would be like creativity, how are you coming across to us on the screen? Are you just sitting there, or are you, using lights, or are you using space to, dancers, like whatever it takes to be able to be creative, and then lyrics and just the general performance. But again, marketability is always on there. So.
Like from the first round, they were like, "Yo, it's gonna be you, Maintain, and Punch finals." And I was like, you don't know what might happen. Right? It could have gone any way. I didn't know that I was gonna make the finals. In my head, I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna make it to the finals." But you never know what can happen based on the judges and the people. So. I know everybody talks a lot about COVID and how it's keeping them at the house, but apparently they ain't kept the cops and them from killing black people. And it seems like it's been getting worse as time goes by. So I had to express my frustration with that whole situation on this track I like to call Sunset. Say, I need some help, cause I sure ain't got no doubts that the odds are stacked against me when I step outside my house. Cause this might be the day that I take my last breath. God, I pray for clear skies on the day my sun sets. I need some help. Hands up, don't shoot. You thought it was a joke, but it's a sad truth. It's a little bit more difficult because I like to do a little bit of back and forth with the audience. So it's like I can't tell you to wave your hands because you're on a stream and you probably just sit there holding the phone like this. You're not gonna wave your hand or whatever. But
having the crowd there is so much more effective. Everyone's drinking and stuff. I feel like in front of a live crowd, I have an upper hand. But in this situation, you do what you can.
To be honest, like my thought process, while the crowd at first wasn't showing any love, you know what I'm saying, was, hey, at the end of the day, you can use the negative energy and make something positive.
How y'all doing? No more, hello.
once the positive energy kind of flowed through my performance, they seen the confidence, you know what I'm saying, the I guess all of the, you know, the swagger, whatever you have it, and I guess that was enough to, you know what I mean, at least win over a few of them. I didn't win them all, but, you know, win some, you lose some.
I've been able to not only introduce artists to each other, you know, so we have collaboration there, because, you know, iron sharpens iron, you know, but also been able to broaden the horizons of other people, you know, so.
For me personally, Master of the Mic is it's really more than anything a networking tool to meet some dope artists, and if I grab a few fans along the way, that's a plus.
Okay. Even if you don't make it past the first round, if you go in there with the mindset that I'm gonna do what I gotta do and I'm gonna network, you're good. It's a great opportunity for artists to get in there and networking, because that's the most important thing. Yeah, the music is dope. Yeah, your swag and whatever, your image is dope. But you gotta network, because you could look like the next big thing, but if nobody knows who you are, because you don't network, it ain't gonna mean nothing. So
y'all should probably collab over one of those beats that the DJ throw y'all together. Like, the mashup of y'all three styles together can make something real phenomenal, I would think, man. Y'all should cook something up.
Hey, hell yeah, it's already in the works. Me and DubDeuceDs, we got a track going with that boy DJ Grace. You know what I'm saying? Me and Pudge, we already talked about setting up a show, so, you know, I'm trying to work, man.
And I'm like, hello, 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 no more, no more. Hello, 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 no more, no more. Hello, yeah, I'm like, hello, how y'all doing? Hey, hello, hello, hello. No, okay, that's fine too. Yeah, yeah. Hello, Mr. Nice Guy, nice to meet you, Mike. I pause to applaud on your good deeds despite time. When you was in need, had no one as your lifeline. Now they won't fuck with you. Yes, I put out the right line. I can see the hate, but I'm pacing, cause it's a marathon. My platoon moves with hits like Barry Bond. Preaching on stage with the mic to the devil's pawn. They might call me maintain or reverend, but I'm still on my feet, ready to compete. Halo Master Chief, came back cause I never leave. They say that little youngin' eat when he on the beat or off the seat. Trying to match out, bring the heat. Deep wave, fade, that's a number 3. I can't forget that yell. If we ever had a union, then I would make you yell. Fuck you till your eyes roll back or until you tell. Probably bang on the rail. Music loud, no one can tell. Guess they gone to get the mail. Window open, starting to smell. Lit a L. Then I got to bust a nut in your shell. Fail. And I'm out that motherfucker.